Yeah, yeah. Ball on you. Yo, chill for real. Yeah, yeah. Laying low, turn on the big show, what's the blend? Uncle Sonny on the mic, news like a whirlwind. Current events got the streets all wildin'. Top spots, local stars shining, keep smiling. Hip-hop drama, the gossip they spinning. Loud's Media Group, you know we winning. Event stories, yo, we're never missing. Tune to the show, something surreal and glistening. Got the scoop straight from the corner. Exclusive tales, ain't no foreigner. Street lights bright, local heroes rising. Big's got the heat, criticizing and prizing. Midweek sessions, chat lines glowing. Uncle Sonny got the vibe.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to the Uncle Sonny Bigz Show, Season 2. The wait is finally over, and I'm ecstatic tonight. You know, I been pondering for a few months on how I was going to bring Season 2 in, and I just kept sitting back, and I got a phone call, and we talked. But I end up calling myself, reaching out. And I said, hey, you think your husband might want to be on the show, or you might want to be on the show? And they were like, yeah, we'll be honored to be on the show. So tonight, with further ado, I'm excited. I'm impressed. I'm ready to see what this young man got for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to give a warm welcome for Mr. Carl Revis, candidate for City Council Ward 3. Good evening tonight, Mr. Carl. How you been doing?
Good evening, Uncle Sonny. Doing well. And I appreciate you allowing me to be on this platform.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad to have you here. It's good to see you in this light right here to give people the knowledge. And I'm excited, man. I want to start tonight, you know, just a few questions I want to ask you about, and we can start from there, and I'll let you take over. The first question is, what made you want to run for city council, and when did it hit you and say, it's go mode?
Well, I'll tell you this, Sonny, Uncle Sonny. I've lived in Rocky Mount 30 plus years. You know, I was here as a police officer, and I've seen in my ward, Ward 3, which is the southeast part of Rocky Mount. It's on the Edgecombe and Nash side. You're talking about the Berkshire community. You're talking about South Acres community. You're talking about Planter Street, Hargrove Street, in that area. And I've seen the good and the bad there. You know, working as a police officer, also doing different type of jobs in different organizations, including my church, North State Law Enforcement Officers Association, which is a police officers nonprofit police organization who try to help people. Okay. And I've seen the good and the bad there. So when I got out of law enforcement, when I retired back in 2015, I sat down and I thought about it. And I said I can be a light for them in a dark tunnel. You know, I love helping people. So I saw that I can be something that somewhat could change the community, change the concept, change the relationship between the police and the citizens. Okay, change the concept of these housing problems that we have. People who are not getting affordable housing, including the senior citizens, and youth enrichment. You know, I think about the youth out there. You know, there's a lot of things in our church we're doing to uplift the youth. There are a lot of other activities that can be done outside of the church, you know, with other organizations that I feel like as a city councilman, I can help guide and direct that. So in order for you asking me why I want to be in Ward 3, I want to uplift Ward 3. I want to uplift the whole city of Rocky Mount. But Ward 3 is my primary goal because Ward 3, we have a lot of senseless gun violence, crimes. We have a lot of dilapidated housing. We have a lot of, like I said, landlords taking advantage of our senior citizens with rent, things of that nature. So yes, that's why I decided I want to run.
And I've noticed, like, since I've moved from Rocky Mount, when I come back to Rocky Mount, I've seen a big change in Rocky Mount that needs a big change in Rocky Mount. I know you running for Ward 3, and I kind of want to touch on what does Ward 3 personally means to you.
As I told you before, I lived in I lived in Ward 3 for over 30 years.
Okay.
My kids grew up in Ward 3. Okay.
Okay.
I worked in Ward 3. Okay. Part of my development in the police department was in the ward that I'm living in. I've also understand the fact that I've been out in the community talking to people. I have seen what the problems are, as well as the good things in Ward 3. Now, I don't just want to talk about the bad things, but we know the bad things are the gang violence. We know the bad things are the problems with housing. We know the bad things are dilapidated, unlivable conditions for people. So what I'm saying, what I can do is, and what I want to do is, if I'm elected to city council, or when I'm elected to city council,
Okay.
I'm going to start working on those problems, okay? My kids grew up here. I got family that live in Ward 3. I got friends that live in Ward 3. I talk to them every day. I'm out on the street walking and talking to people, and we understand the needs of Ward 3, and I'm here, once elected, to address those needs.
That sounds good. That sounds good, man. I know you said that you was in Ward 3 and you want to be a part of Ward 3. Now, what's your plans on the high crime rate like?
Okay. Being a police officer, I realized that in order for us to deal with crime, especially gun crime, it's three things I look at. I look at education, I look at economics, and I also look at the relationship with the police department and the citizens, okay? Those three things has to be addressed. I've been a police officer for 30 years, so I know that dealing with citizens has to be the one and only one of the main components of dealing with this crime, meaning getting a good relationship between the police department and the citizens that we serve. Education, okay? When I'm talking about education, I mean educating people on gun violence, letting them know that we need to be mentoring these kids out here, these young juveniles who are carrying these guns, or whomever, or sometimes it's mental health issues, but we need to be out here and we need to make sure that they understand that these guns are not good for the community, not at all, okay, none whatsoever. So, and the last component, as I told you before, is dealing with gangs, okay? I worked on the gang violence unit for a long time. They know me. They understand me. I've sat down with gang members and talked with them. I understand some of the concepts that they're feeling why they want to join a gang. But we also need to realize we need to try to make sure that once we start dealing with the gang members, talking to them, making them understand what the problem is or what can be done to have them removed from gangs on a one-on-one basis, then that's what needs to be done. And I feel like I have done that in the past, and I feel like my record still stands on it, and I feel like as a city councilman, I can bring that back in.
That's good, because me personally knowing you and seeing how you maneuvered over the years, like I used to say all the time, all police officers not bad.
That's
right?
correct. That's correct.
And you was an example for me early on about, all right, there's still some good officers out there. Because I remember a situation, if you mind, let me bring it up, where we was in a community, at a community jam. And it was rowdy. It was very rowdy at the very end of the thing. And that was my first night ever meeting you as a police officer, not knowing that we was tied in another way.
Through family.
So I said, the guy got outraged. You put handcuffs on the guy. I said, come on, man. I said, man, we all out here, man. It ain't that bad. You said, all right. You took the handcuffs off the gentleman. The gentleman went back to doing exactly what he wasn't supposed to do. You looked dead in my face and said, I did what you asked me to do, right? I said, you did. He said, he going to jail tonight. And that's where he went. So what I'm saying is, you are a person, to me, that stands on your word. And standing on your word means a lot.
Yes, I totally remember that. I do remember that incident. And like I said, I'm not out here as a police officer. I wasn't out here just to arrest people.
Right.
I was out here to make sure that people get treated fairly. Mm-hmm. You understand? Regardless of the race, creed, or color, I still want to be treated fairly. And that particular night, I tried to calm him down, and I told you, I said, you asked me, said, man, let him go. I said, okay, if he's going to calm down, he's not going to be disruptive, everything's going to be all right. I did. I took the handcuffs off of him, tried to talk to him. As soon as I took him off, he went back into that mode, and I had no other choice but to do what I had to do as a police officer. But in saying that, my first objective was not to arrest him. My first objective, was to calm him down and make sure that he stop being disruptive.
Yep. And that stuck with me for the rest of my life. And it said something. It spoke by him. It spoke by him, to me, about your character.
Yeah.
And I always respected the badge. And seeing now that you running for councilman, it's gonna be a good thing. It's something that they need. They need fairness, and they need detail to attention that I've seen over the years that I know you have, and I know that what you're gonna do for the city of Rocky Mount is gonna be good.
I appreciate that. Again, married for 30 years to my wife, 2 kids, 1 grandkid, lived in the community, never left the community, never left Ward 3 since I moved there over 30-something years ago. Understanding the community, understanding what is needed, understanding the dilapidated housing, understanding the crime that we have, understanding how people needs help, and I love to help. Understanding with my church, I've been with my church for over 12 years, working there through organizations, reaching out to the youth, reaching out to the elderly, seeing their needs and trying to be able to be a light, like I said, in a dark place for them. That's what I'm about. That's what I will be about. And when I'm elected, I guarantee you that's what I'm going to stay about.
And that's standing on your word. I see that, like you said, you're very visible in church and in schools and the community events. Now that is key. That is very important to mingle with your peers and with the community.
Yes, I've been an adjunct instructor for the Edgecombe Community College over 10 years. I sit on the Board of Adjustments, which is a board where with the city, volunteered, non-paid position. I've been over there for the last 10 years. Like I said, I have set down counselors, many gang members. I've set down counsel students. Like I said, I'm an instructor in criminal justice, so I try to teach them the laws, make sure they understand what's right and what's wrong, because a lot of people don't know the law. You understand? So when they come to me, I can explain some of the concepts of the law to them and hopefully make sure that they make, the right decisions in doing that. North State Law Enforcement Officers Association, past president, every Christmas we would go out to the retirement homes and we would give them presents and we would sing Christmas carols. We try to make the people in retirement homes feel comfortable or feel good about themselves, even though they're in a retirement home. There are so many things that I've done in this community, and so I don't need to talk about all of it, but I'll let you know, I'm not trying to run a popularity contest. What I'm trying to do is do the right thing for Ward 3 citizens and the city of Rocky Mount. That's why I'm running for councilman for Ward 3.
Okay. I do want to ask you, what's your plans to making residents feel secure without losing trust in the police force?
30 years of experience. My plan is to go out, make sure that people understand the laws. That's first and foremost. Make sure that I can go out and find out exactly what their needs are. Okay, we're going to have officers in my ward. We're going to set up meetings, okay, with the police department, and we're going to have officers come out and talk to the residents and make sure they understand who the officers are working in that particular community, what type of needs do they need from that officer. It could be picking up trash, or it could be speeding. It could be any minor offense, which may be minor to some people. It's major to other people. Some people always talking about people just hanging out in the neighborhood, walking up and down the streets. That's not committing a crime, but we want officers visible in that community if they're having that problem so that they'll feel comfortable sitting out on their porch, okay?
Correct.
Speeding up and down the street, a lot of people, on these motorcycles, they'll speed up and down the streets, and these older people hear them and they need people to, to deal with that. So I would set up meetings with the community, okay, Ward 3 community and the police department, and we're going to figure out the needs, what these people need in that particular community, in my community, and we're going to work it from there.
It sounds good. It sounds like a plan. Like I said, I'm excited, man. I want to see where this journey take you, man. I never thought I'd see you running for for city council, man. But at the same time, man, I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it from, like I said, I've always watched you in the street as well, like how you maneuvered, how you carried yourself. And like I tell people, you know, all police officers ain't bad, and you're a prime example of the light that most officers should model themselves by, in my eyes.
I appreciate that.
Because once I seen the fairness, and I always got a story to tell. I already got a story to tell. Like, I had to go downtown to take care of some business one time, and I seen you, and me and you was in the elevator talking, and a Caucasian officer opened up the elevator door and was coming in. We was coming out, and you asked the officer, because the officer spoke to me. He said, "I'm an elephant, man. You know this guy Pip?" He said, "Yeah, that's a good guy right there." And you looked at me like, "All right, okay. All right, Uncle Sonny. All right, you all right. You all right." That goes to show you, like, I had interactions not with just black police officers.
Yes, sir.
But Caucasian police officers as well. And it wasn't no bad experience with some of them. Now, some of them I had issues, but it was because I guess it was just checking temperatures at the time sometimes, and you got to understand from Edge County of the tracks to Nash County side of the track, it's pretty much, to me, as growing up, it was day and night.
Yeah, different policing, yeah.
Different policemen policing different areas. And I always thought, growing up, that put certain police officers in certain places. The ones that can deal with their community. Because if you are an officer or if you're a politician and you somewhere where nobody really knows you and you trying to gain the trust, it's kind of hard because politics is different.
It is. It is.
And by you being in your ward, I said your ward, by you being in Ward 3, and that's your ward because you've been there over 30 years. You're not running for outside of a ward. You running for a ward that you've been a part of.
That I've lived in.
Experienced
the goods and the bads with them. That's exactly right. The good things and the things that's not so good. I experienced it with them. But I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
but absolutely. That's why I'm running. I see what's needed. I'm not a popular person. I'm not trying to be a popularity contest. I'm not trying to go in it to gain any type of funding or gain anything like that. I'm going in to help people. My objective is to help the people of Ward 3. And I guarantee you, and I promise you this on this podcast tonight, if I get there, you're going to see me out there helping people, not gaining any type of funding, not trying to run any type of scam, I live there. I want these people to prosper, man. I want these people to prosper. No matter what part of Ward 3 they live in, I want them to prosper. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that happens. And I know it can't happen overnight now.
Right.
And I'm only one person, understand that. But I'm going to do my part for that ward to make sure that that ward is better. They always say you leave something better than it was when you came. That's correct, sir. So that's my objective.
Hey, and your objectives sound good, man. It sound great. Not if, but when.
When, that's correct. That's
not
correct.
If, but when.
That's correct.
From my mouth to God's ears, God's speed. I wish you all the best in your race. I want you to look out there, tell them what date, time that they need to get out there and get them votes in, because voting do matter.
Yes, sir. Early voting starts September 18th. Early voting starts September 18th. That's when you go to the polls early, okay? You need to come out there, think about Carl Revis, and vote for Carl Revis. Actual voting is October the 7th. October the 7th. That's when you go to the polls to vote, that one day, October the 7th. I'll tell you what, I will see you at the polls. I will see you at early voting, and I want you to vote for Carl Revis, Ward 3. Remember, I am a lifetime, like almost a lifelong resident of Ward 3. I've lived the struggles of Ward 3. I'm not coming here from anywhere else talking about Ward 3. I've been here just about all my life, all my adult life. So I love Ward 3 and the city of Rocky Mount. I love the city of Rocky Mount, and I want to see you out there voting. September 18th is early voting. October the 7th is voting date. Uncle Sonny.
Man, that was great, man. Once again, Mr. Carl, appreciate you coming to sit down with me tonight. That was an honor for me. As you know, I'm more of a T-shirt type of guy on my shows, but it's season 2. You are well respected in my eyes.
I appreciate that, man.
And I wanted to present myself accordingly for tonight's show, because God has plans.
Yes, sir.
God has things set in place.
Yes, sir.
My goal that I always tell people, or my saying is, focus on the journey.
That's right.
Because the destination is already there. With that being said, Mr. Carl, man, you're going to do well. You're going to turn numbers. And just remember, God knows best, and God has already worked everything out.
I appreciate
it. I'd like to thank you for coming and sitting down talking with us tonight about the candidacy race. I'm excited, man. I'm ready to see how this thing gonna turn out. I wish I was still living here. I vote about 100 times. I know what you are capable of.
I appreciate that.
And I respect you.
I respect you too, Sonny.
And once again, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. And any time you want to come on the show to spread information, knowledge, our doors are always welcome, man.
I appreciate you extending the opportunity for me to be here. And like I said, I've been knowing you a long time. And like I said, we are related through in-lawship per se. But you've always been respectable to me, and I've never had an issue with you. So anytime I'm available and you allow me to come on this show, I will be here, brother.
Standing on business. Well, tonight's show has been sponsored by the Michael St. Carl brand. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Yeah. And we're going to say God bless you all. Good night, and we'll see you guys next Monday night.
Yeah. Laying low, turn on the big show, what's the blend? Uncle Sonny on the mic, news like a whirlwind. Current events got the streets all wildin'. Top spots, local stars shining, keep smiling. Hip-hop drama, the gossip they spinning. Loud's Media Group, you know we winning. Event stories, yo, we're never missing. Tune to the show, something surreal.